Much of the country is dealing with the polar vortex. It's extremely cold in multiple states, and it's gotten so serious that school districts have decided to take some time off to ensure that people are at home and are safe. And I'm not exaggerating how serious this is. In fact, an 18-year-old student at the University of Iowa was found frozen to death, which is just terrifying. The temperatures had plunged to around minus 21 degrees with wind chills as low as minus 51 degrees. So a mass of polar air is descending over the Midwestern United States. Chicago might hit a low of minus 22 degrees Fahrenheit on Wednesday. Obviously, this is a little outdated, but it did. It was extremely cold on Wednesday, and it continues to be so.
When I hear minus 22, minus 21, Iowa, Chicago, et cetera, I immediately, and I asked Anna this, said, and they're talking about wind chill, right? And they're like, no, not wind chill. Wind chill is minus 51.
Crazy.
Wow. Like look, I lived in the Northeast. We had wind chills that were disastrous. In fact, I'll tell you a personal story in the post game about how I got frostbite. So frostbite's no joke, it's totally real. And my face froze. And so, and now it freezes quicker under cold circumstances. Anyway, fascinating story. tyt.com/join to become a member, and we'll talk about that in the post game. But I've never seen minus 51 wind chill. That's like in my lifetime, I think unheard of.
Well, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna help you see it in this next video.
Whoa.
In Fargo, North Dakota, emergency responders braved temperatures hovering around 20 below zero to assist victims in a car crash. In Grand Rapids, Michigan, whiteout conditions are being blamed for a chain reaction of crashes involving at least 24 vehicles. No one was killed. The Arctic blast also put a stop to public transportation. Amtrak canceled all of its trains at Chicago's Union Station due to the extreme cold. Later in the evening, officers took us through the city looking for homeless people to help.
The reality of it is it's too dangerous for people to be out here in the street.
We encountered a man sleeping outside in 20 below weather. He eventually allowed officers to call an ambulance for him.
I just want to give those officers some credit and the city credit for actually caring enough to do something. I mean, we're in this cycle of really depressing human behavior. And so I gotta be honest, when I saw that, I was a little surprised.
No, yeah, they're supposed to do that, but I agree with you that wonderful work on their part to rescue that guy and among others. 8 people have already died.
Yeah, it's devastating. So now Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin couldn't really understand why it was that people were reacting the way that they've been reacting to how insanely cold it's been. Take a look.
By the way, you'll be up late tonight with your kids because there's no school again.
Again, you know, now we cancel school for cold. I mean,
look, it's deep freeze. This is serious business.
It is. Come on now. I mean, there's no ice going with it or any snow. I mean, what happens to America? We're getting soft, Terry.
So, look. I'm not in the camp of like this is the most outrageous statement ever, and I'm a little old too, right? So I'm like, you know, I got, if you watch Old School, which is one of our shows for members, I got a little streak in me of like, let's toughen up, America. Come on.
I know it's residue from your Republican days. It's kind of annoying, but it comes up every once in a while. But he's not done. There's more to his comment. Can I give you a little more of Matt Bevin, and then you can?
Yeah, and I can't stand Matt Bevin, so please, but let's go. Let's do it.
And I'm being only slightly facetious, but it does concern me a little bit that in America, on this and any number of other fronts, we're sending messages to our young people that if life is hard, you can curl up in the fetal position somewhere in a warm place and just wait till it stops being hard. And that just isn't reality. Just isn't.
Okay. Why don't you go outside? Go hang out and get a little taste of reality.
Yeah. No, of course he's taking it too far. He's Matt Bevin, right? And so just because you don't want to go out or don't want to send your kids out in negative 20-degree weather doesn't mean you're curled up in fetal position. It means you're concerned about your kids. So yeah, of course that goes too far. And there is a way to like balance it, but negative 20 is not the right balance.
Right, and so look, I agree when it comes to some young people getting coddled in certain ways. So, and we've talked about it on the show before. Usually when the conversation happens, it's in reference to college students who just want to ban certain speakers from coming on their campus to speak because they don't agree with their politics. No, that's the real world. You're gonna come across people you disagree with every single day. And it might annoy you, but you should get some practice because that is real life.
Yeah. Does that ever happen online, running across people you don't agree with?
Actually, no. I only come across people I agree with online. Everybody loves me.
Oh, yeah. We got nothing but love.
Okay. Now, he got backlash for his comments about people being too soft, about the weather. And so he responded to the backlash in this way, and I thought it was hilarious. Remember all the outrage from these clowns at the Courier Journal, Herald leader, and that highly esteemed titan of journalism, Al Roker, when Barack Obama said this about snow and school cancellations? Yeah, me neither. So what is he talking about? Well, he's talking about statements that Barack Obama made back in 2009. In fact, he went all the way back to 2009. He's like, how can I attack Obama? How can I get Obama involved in this ridiculous situation? So here's what Obama said, and then I'm gonna give you the reality of what the temperature was really like when he made these comments.
My children's school was canceled today because of what? Some ice?
Chicago.
As my children pointed out in Chicago, school is never canceled. In fact, my 7-year-old pointed out that you'd go outside for recess. You wouldn't even stay indoors.
So I would agree with Matt Bevin if the temperatures were at least comparable, but they were not. So at that time, the temperature was 27 degrees, above zero, not below, it was above zero. Whereas in this case, it's obviously much colder. It's like at least 22 degrees below zero.
So that's what we're talking about, which is context. Well, it depends, right? So if at 27 degrees you're coddling the kids, by the way, even Obama isn't right. If there's ice on the roads, that's why they cancel the schools, right? In fact, okay, I'll tell you another story during the post game about snow cancellations growing up in New Jersey. And so, God, those were the best days. Okay, by the way, tyt.com/trial gets you a free week, so you can check that out for free if you want. So back to Obama. 27 degrees, and I like Anna's visual guides for you guys. So you have 27 above zero, whereas it's now 22 below zero. Okay, so that's a 49.
Trying to help you guys out. You know, some people are more visual.
That's about a 50-degree difference. So yes, that context definitely matters. And man, the press loved Obama. So he just says like some little thing. They're like, go ahead, God, it's so good, right? Trump says it. They're like.
Yeah,
well, to be fair, because Trump's an ass.
And he's always attacking them. But yeah, I mean, Obama was Sade, smooth operator, like all the way.
Yeah. Okay, and going old school on that one. Speaking of old school. All right, last thing. He's like, who's this titan of journalism, Al Roker? Well, he's a meteorologist. So, and in fact, arguably the most famous and perhaps accomplished meteorologist in America. So in his field, he is a titan of journalism. Okay, and who would know more about the weather? Al Roker, a meteorologist, or Matt Bevin, professional clown?
By the way, I think there are really people who have that job title, professional clown.
Oh, I interviewed one. Yeah, he was running for office. It did really well. He's actually a super smart guy. He went to Ivy League school, but he is a professional clown.
Fun.
Okay, whereas Donald Trump is an amateur clown. On the go? Don't worry, we got you covered. You can still listen to TYT at our new podcast network. Find us on Apple Podcasts, the Google Play Store, or at tyt.com/podcast.